Hello, hello. Excited to be here with you guys. I wanted to come on today and talk about a lot of different things. And I'm just going to channel from my heart to yours. If yours is open and ready to receive, fantastic. If not, well, maybe you'll listen to it another time. But first of all, we have a big Aries full moon tomorrow that I'm so excited about. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But my name is Elle Davis, and I'm a transformational mentor, channel, and healer that specializes in healing forward so you can become your future self. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about, the permission slip that I mentioned in my title, and that has to do with continuing to dream during volatile times like this, when the collective is stirred up and there's a lot of stuff going on. It would be so easy to be feeling kind of guilty or feeling kind of disconnected in a lot of ways, because truth is a lot is happening, and it's imperative during times like this that you contribute to the collective frequency in such a way that you bring your light to it. You bring your light. And one of the greatest, easiest ways to bring your light to the collective is if you're excited about your life and you're excited about what you're working on and what you're doing, which is why I love working with my clients to become their future self, because the future is a blank canvas, and hopefully you see it as an opportunity versus maybe something that's fearful. Because I think when a lot of stuff that is happening collectively, it could be easy to be stirred up and think, oh gosh, things are not, things aren't moving in the direction that we want. How do we change that? And it begins with you having a vision in your heart. Because I believe we are all multidimensional travelers. We can travel to the past, we can travel to the future. And so many people could go back to the past and they look at the past and they relive the past. And sometimes that's beneficial, right? But it's the future that is really, it's undefined, and you can create whatever it is that you want, even if you've never experienced anything like it in the past. And so I want to talk to you today a little bit about that, like creating your brilliant future, and give you that permission slip to do so, because I really think that it's vital. And we're coming up on this Aries full moon that happens to be all about living with a courageous heart, really trusting where your life is. And Aries is the warrior. Aries is assertive, and it can be aggressive, and it can be warlike when you fall prey to divisiveness within yourself and externally. And yet there's this higher opportunity with Aries to live with this courageousness that leads you to taking action. I know this archetypal energy very well because I'm an Aries rising with my Mars in Aries in the first house, with my Chiron there. So this full moon for me is really big. And I just share that with you because I think it's important to see, when you see leaders showing up online, it's interesting sometimes to know, a little bit about their backstory and what, maybe astrology they are. And anyways, with this energy, you're going to be feeling a little bit of push and pull. It's, we come out of the Libra new moon. Libra is all about the we. Aries is about the me. How does this serve me? How am I as an individual? Where is my agency and authority? And it's important when you think about, that's why I'm saying this, your permission slip to dream, because when you think about the I, yourself, and how you can support others and how you can help others, it's to have, a way to operate and bring forth the dreams that you have in your life and to take action on those, to be in the arena. That's one of the things about Aries, is they're not afraid to be in the arena. You've heard Brene Brown talk about that, being in the arena, which I love that mentality. Very few times in my life am I just on the sidelines or the stands watching. Most of my life has always included some initiatory process where I have to get in their arena and I have to try, I have to give it my all. And we do that, right? Because we want to grow, we want to expand, we want to experience stuff. And so one of the things I wanted to share, it was so interesting. I was on a walk recently with a dear new soul sister, and we were talking, and she was saying something about how she went home. And when she went home, it brought up all these old emotions and all these old feelings. And she's really trying to stay focused on what she wants to create versus who she's been. And I loved that thought process, because one of the questions I often get in futuring is, where does the past stand when it comes to a futuring process? And the past should be the raw material that you create from. So you probably have a lot of amazing experiences in your past, hopefully, that you can borrow from when you need to, and use to remind yourself of how powerful you are. But the key really is that you don't want to use the past for what you're going to necessarily be using as your barometer for what's possible for the future. And here's the thing, when we were talking, this gal and I, about, when she went home and, started to feel all these old feelings of, her life when she was younger and all this stuff. It was fascinating to me because she admitted that she hadn't processed a lot of it. And so sometimes when you are deciding to create a brilliant future for yourself, there is this misconception. So what's a brilliant future? There's 4 different types of futures: dark, dim, bright, and brilliant. If you want to learn more about the types of futures and how to work with them and how to figure out which future you're in, message me. I can send you the link to my course. It's on sale right now for $197. It's 4 90-minute modules. It goes over all of the stuff in much more detail, and it's incredible. It used to be $997. So anyways, but when you step into a brilliant future, that means that you are creating from soul alignment, that you are excited, that you're looking for fulfillment and connection on the deepest levels with yourself and with others and with life. But here's the thing, is even though you're future focused, you guys, it does not mean that you ignore what's coming up in the now moment. You do not ignore it. You want to pay attention because you want to process, because this is the thing that will slow you down from having a brilliant future, is if you have not worked on your trauma, if you have not rewritten your past and kind of structured it in a way that has allowed you to become the victor, not the victim. And that's, that's a whole nother conversation. But if you are still kind of circling that drain, then that's going to be taking up more of your attention than who you get to be. So understanding that a brilliant future is not devoid of challenges, it's not devoid of emotions and feelings. It's just that when you have pain come into your life, pain, when you're coming from a futuring perspective, is an invitation. It's an invitation, because pain happens because you're stuck, because you're miserable, because you don't like something. And that's okay. That is going to pull you hopefully towards a brilliant future if you're willing to do the work. If you don't do the work, you're going to stay in dark, dim, probably because you're apathetic and you're in fear. But when you decide that the pain that's showing up for you, the unprocessed emotions of the past, they have to be dealt with at some point. We are very multidimensional. That's why I said we are time travelers. You can go back and you can rewrite the past for yourself. So your pain, I really want you to think about how you can restructure in your mind your perspective around pain. This summer, was laid up all summer. I couldn't work out. My girls were in San Diego for the summer. I live in Boise, and my girls were visiting their dad all summer. They're 9 and 11, so I'm still very attached to them. And I was going through what you could call maybe an ego death in my business. Pluto and Capricorn in my 10th house. If anybody knows astrology and you watch this video, you're going to know that I've had a transformational year because of the eclipses, because of Pluto and Capricorn, and all sorts of stuff. I have so many placements in Capricorn. So anyways, in my 10th house. Moving on. So what was I saying when I get into when I was laid up over the summer. So I was having all these things were just challenges. Oh my God. I was in so much pain physically, but I was also in pain emotionally and mentally because I just moved. I was starting a whole new life and I was on the bench. I wasn't in the arena. I couldn't be in the arena. I had to sit through this pain. And it was so fascinating because I found the pain to be such a deep invitation. It was almost like somebody was giving me this handwritten, beautiful invitation and said, hey, what are you willing to look deeper within yourself? Are you willing to ask the uncomfortable questions to figure out why this is happening? Are you willing in this time of pain to figure out what it is that is being asked of you? So it was really incredible. It was challenging and really tough to go through at the time when all of that was happening over the summer. But looking back, I am so grateful because when the invitation of pain came to me, I said yes to it. Hey, Larry. I said yes. I was like, okay, what do I need to know? What's going on? Why am I so miserable? What's happening? And there was all sorts of things that were going on. But so many people resist the pain in their life. They don't want to, of course, when it's physical pain, you don't want to feel the physical pain. But if it's emotional and mental, a lot of people want to push it away. But part of the process, hey to you too, a part of the process of growth and evolution is to understand that pain is going to happen sometimes when we're out of alignment, when we need to get back on course. Pain will happen. It's just part of this duality of this planet. But suffering by ignoring the pain or staying in it too long, that is your own decision, right? That's your own, you get to change that. Because if you do stay in pain for a long time, of course, it's going to cause suffering. So when I was in that level of pain over the summer, I really, and when I asked the deeper questions and I sat in it and I contemplated it, I could see that I was being transformed from the inside out. And my external reality was reflective of that because nothing was working that used to work for me. So instead of resisting it, I leaned into it and I surrendered. And I was like, hey, what do you want from me? I'm listening. I'm here. I'm present. And I remembered, and this is something that is really important when you're going through transformational times. And this is why I love futuring. This is why I call my modality healing forward. Because when you're in that level of pain, it could be really easy to get lost in it. When you start to go into that suffering mode, it is so hard sometimes not to feel like a victim and to stay in it for a long time, right? Which is why it was helpful for me to remember what I was working towards, who I said I wanted to be, where my life was leading to me. I had to let go of ways of being that were not aligned with who I was becoming. I would never become the person I want to be now if I wasn't willing to release control and let go. And that's a big part, by the way, of this Aries full moon. Larry, aren't you Aries? Aren't you Aries? I think you're an Aries. So you're going to feel this in the best way possible. And so part of this is letting go of control when you're in these spaces. But to see this time in your life, I thought so, to see this time in your life as, okay, I have pain. What is it trying to tell me? What is it indicative? How's it trying to it's like a smack on your ass. It's like, hey, there's a sense of urgency, especially if the pain gets louder, right? If the pain ticks up a little bit physically or emotionally, it's like, oh my God, there has to be a sense of urgency. Our soul, our higher self is always trying to get us to live a better, in our best alignment. And so that's why I love working with the future self, you guys, because the future self is your inner elder. It is the version of you in another timeline that has the very thing that you want right now. So when you're going through that painful transformative time, like our planet is right now, and like you might be individually, the way you can have emotional and energetic mastery over that is to remember who you are becoming and how that version of you feels. Because then in your pain, you could say, oh, I am the butterfly. You are the caterpillar in the cocoon that's going to become the butterfly. You can remember that this is just part of a process, and instead of resisting it so hard, you could just be like, I'm with this. I'm leaning into this. I'm trusting God. I'm asking the questions, because it won't last forever. It won't last forever. Everything changes. There's seasonality to life. If you're on the bench right now, if you're benched and you're not in the arena, eventually you'll get your opportunity to go back in the arena if you trust life. And if you trust your future self and you go, okay, what is my future self that I'm working on? What are the energetics of my future self? I teach you this in my Futuring course. I also have an opportunity to work with me one-on-one where we go for 3 days, 1 hour each day. First day, I help you meet your future self through hypnotherapy. Second day is removing the subconscious blocks that are keeping you becoming your future self. And the third day is to create a game plan. And I do a little channeling to help support you in becoming your future self. I'm offering this for $300 till Friday, which is insane because normally these are $500 a piece. So this is an incredible way to really end your year and to get a really crystal clear vision of who you're becoming. Because when you're in that pain, or when you're in your transformation and you don't have something to work towards, you're not healing forward, which is the modality that I use, then you get stuck sometimes just in like trying to fix yourself and trying to move through all of this without a greater vision, greater alignment of how you want to feel. So an example of that, when I was in all of that, I kept visualizing because I saw myself, because the pain I was in was my arm was all messed up and I was causing nerve pain and all these things. And there's so much stuff I couldn't do over the summer because of it. And I would visualize in my meditations, I meditate every day, almost every day. And I would visualize myself going to Pilates. I'd see a certain number on the scale. I'd see myself in Pilates, and I'd see myself just feeling really healthy and like rocking it and like having a full schedule with my work and just like feeling really good. Like it was just like an easy little Futuring exercise for me. And when I would feel myself in Pilates, the thing that I felt was just like really strong inside, like on top of it, like connected to myself physically and all that kind of stuff. And so by holding on to that energetically when I was in pain, it was like I was allowing the process of the unraveling or whatever was going on then. But I also had my eye on the prize. I was like, hey, because that's part of a brilliant future, you guys. When you're creating a brilliant future, everything has a right to exist. You feel your feelings of what's going on, but you don't stay there forever. You go, okay, yeah, gonna cry, gonna be sad, gonna be angry, gonna do the thing, gonna do the dance with whatever emotion is showing up. And I'm strong, or I'm grounded, or I'm adventurous, or whatever your thing is that you're working towards and working on. So I would bring that feeling into myself, because we create our external reality through our internal being and set point. So I would feel this, and then guess what? Just like 3 weeks ago, I started going to Pilates. It took me 4 months to heal. I invested so much money in healing and I had to do frequency stimulation therapy or something like that. But all the time I was doing it, I was going into my body. I was asking my body, what do you want to show me? What's happening in here? What is the trapped emotions? What are the things? And then I would visualize myself feeling strong, sturdy, stable in my body, in my life. And now, just months later, and this is an easy little one, but I just want to give you, an understanding. I'm here. So it's important to still dream no matter what. It's important, yes, Larry, for sure. It's important to understand that pain is just a great invitation and initiator to get you back on track. And when you can understand that, then you don't resist it, because when you resist something, you're just literally pushing it down. And when you push it down, it's gonna come back up at some point. It's not really disappearing. It's not going anywhere. And for all of the people that listen to this that know, like I've heard so many people say, yeah, but you know, you're just supposed to stay in the now moment. You're never supposed to leave the now moment. Futuring is spiritual bypassing. Bullshit. No, it's not. Sorry. I shouldn't say negative words like that online, but it's not. I'm sorry. But having something to believe in and work towards is one of the most exciting ways to move through life. It gives you hope and optimism during those periods where you are in the cocoon and you are going through massive transformation. It would be so easy to just stay in the fix it mode, you know? And this isn't about just, you know, trying to bypass the now moment. It's really staying in the present moment and learning how to embody new feelings, so that when you are going through your painful process of whatever is shifting, changing, aligning, you have the faith and the deeper connection to all of this is happening for a bigger, wiser purpose, so that I can become the person that I know I'm meant to be. So don't ignore your pain. Have a beautiful Aries full moon. I have a video on YouTube that goes through, I'm actually posting it right now, and I channel and I go through all the different aspects of this full moon in Aries. If you would love to work with me on a deeper level, reach out to me. I do have that special with the futuring that is a very, like, gonna be gone soon, because I don't typically do something to that level. Spend 3 days with somebody for an hour each day for that pricing, but I feel so called to support people in discovering who their future self is and what's possible for them. So if you want to have information on that, just comment future and I will send you the link and you can check it out. And I hope that you guys have a beautiful rest of your week, and I will see you next week for some more futuring. Okay, bye.